I know I can see political quickie, your political show that subjectively discusses political headlines in South Africa and all around the world. My name is Mapa Sikamurwa. Rwandan President Paul Kagame has charged his former opponent Diana Rwigara with offenses against state security. So it sounds a little bit like terrorism, but it's actually not. Apparently, according to the president, she's done quite a lot against the state that's not supposed to be done. But actually, her real crime is that she attempted to run for presidency. Not only that, but she's been a political activist and she's spoken out about the dictatorship in Rwanda under the regime of Paul Kagame. I know she tried to run for president a few months ago, but then the election commission was like, nah, girl, you can't do that, because she was supposed to get 600 signatures to be admitted as a candidate in the first place, but they were like, nah, actually you didn't. But she's like, no, I actually got like 1,000 and more, so I don't know what you're talking about. So in the midst of all of that, the revenue services of Rwanda came knocking on her door and was like, girl, actually your businesses own $6.7 million in tax. So her accounts are frozen, her businesses shut down in the process, and so she's just being attacked left, right, and center just because, you know, she spoke out about the dictatorship that is going on in Rwanda. You know what? This is absolutely crazy. And what sickens me the most is that in Africa in the 21st century, we still have dictatorships going on. It's crazy to think about because, you know, when I really think about it, there are two types of dictatorships. Dictatorships that are made up by the West, where they're like, that's a dictatorship because you don't serve or you threaten their interests. And so no, it's not really a dictatorship, it's just a dictatorship according to them. And then there are dictatorships like this that really exist, that where a person wants to rule forever and ever. And at the same time, not even caring about the interests of the people of that specific country. And so, you know, here at Political Quickie, we stand with you, Diana Rwigara. Her mother and her sister were also arrested for on similar charges. And it's just crazy that her whole family is being arrested just because they're speaking out about, you know, crazy things that are going on in their country. In the 21st century, dictatorship in Africa is absolutely unacceptable. And yeah, it is not okay. It ain't right! It is not okay. Moving on to other news. Minister of Police. I love this guy. He is Earther. Fikile Mbalula was like, you know what? I'm going to order the army and they're going to go to the Western Cape and Gauteng and to fight the gang wars that are going on right now. The only problem is, according to section 201 subsection 2 of the Constitution, only the president can order the army to do anything. So actually what he was trying to say was that he wants the president to, so I'm just, you know, putting that in context. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure of the extent of, you know, the violence that's going on, especially in Cape Town. You know, all I know is what I've seen on the news, what I've read, and apparently it's crippling, it's hectic, and people are living like prisoners in their own homes because they're literally bullets flying around. But you know, the issue of deploying or summoning the army to go into these areas is a bit crazy to me. You know, it sounds like dictatorship vibes, or like emergency state vibes, or like banana republic vibes. It just sounds crazy. Like, it's not normal to see the army, you know, lurking around or fighting crime. That's like when things are really, really hectic, that's when they come out. So I think this is uh, I don't know the extent of the violence in Cape Town, but I feel like Fikile Mbalula is overreacting by summoning or wanting the army to be summoned. I feel like, you can pull the police of other provinces to come in. You, like Northwest and like Free State and like Limpopo, you can get the bodyguards that guard all these ministers. Plus, like you people have too many bodyguards anyways. And plus, these bodyguards are apparently, hitmen. From that video that we saw, they are hit people as well, so they could help. You could get the private sector to help out as well, like your ADT and other security companies to help out. I just feel like summoning the army to, domestic issues. We're not politically unstable. There's a lot going on, but we're not politically unstable. The violence is not to that extent. Like pull other, law enforcement agencies to come and help. Get the private sector in, but to summon the army. That's just like, I'm thinking Banana Republic. I'm thinking war-torn areas. That's where you see the army lurking, when there's been a terrorist attack in London earlier in the year. So, no, please do not summon the army. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Moving on to international news, however, there is this museum, right, in China, Hubei Provincial Museum, that's the name, decided we are so clever, we are so racist, and they dedicated a whole section of an exhibition on comparing black African people to wild African animals. Yes, so you've heard it all, baboon, King Kong was gorilla, yes, gorilla, you've heard it all, monkey, and now you are compared to those animals. So yeah, 170,000 plus minus people saw the exhibition. African people complaining, were like, nah, that ain't right, and so finally they took it down. So an employee of the museum was asked, why are you doing this, why? And they were like, nah, chill, because actually comparing people to animals is a norm in China, and it's actually considered a compliment. It's considered a compliment. I was like, yeah, okay. So, I think the thing about China, it's not even like a racist problem. It's more an ignorance problem. Asia as a whole has got this colorism problem going on, where the whiter or the lighter you are, the better. Because lightness and whiteness is identified with like wealth and success and like goodness. And darkness or having darker skin is sort of identified with number one, that's considered a curse, and poverty and inferiority. So yeah, nothing new there. Except it's not a racist issue, it's more a colorism issue. Now just thinking of, there was this drama on DSTV, Saloni, where this girl Saloni could not be married off because she was a dark-skinned Indian, and that was considered a curse, and that was like, girl, you cannot be dark. And also just bringing it home to, South Africa, how I remember this incident that a friend of mine told me about, how, this light Indian family saw this dark-skinned Indian girl, and comments were flying around talking about how she's cursed and, how that ain't right. And it's crazy because you think racism, but actually there's this colorism issue as well. It's like, but what is going on? So this whole problem, this colorism issue is so big in Asia that literally lightning creams, that whole industry is worth billions and billions of rands, of pounds, of euros, of dollars. You get what I'm saying. So the reason why I draw our attention to this is not even because I want to rant about racism and colorism. That is not even worth it. Something Kendrick Lamar said, and I saw the video this week for the first time, and it's like, the meaning of life and the reason why we're here is not because of some complex, deep meaning, but it's just because we are here to love each other. And I was like, aha moment. So yeah, that's true. I feel like if we just understood that we're here to love each other, all these things that make one superior, make one inferior, they wouldn't be there. We are so self-centered. we are so self-centered that the only thing that would make us feel better about ourselves is by making sure that there's someone to trump on and someone to look down upon. And that is disgusting. That is very disgusting. And that also made me think of like this whole argument of whether or not Jesus Christ is black. Like there's this argument and there's, research going to this. There is like some, data or other information that's being served up and actually proving that he is alive, that he's actually black. And a friend of mine was telling me, you know what, all that argument is about superiority and inferiority. And if he's white, then white people feel superior. And if he's black, we feel they feel superior. And if he's black, we feel superior. And that is so true. That is so true. But, research is still showing the things. Anyways, moving on to on the side side, the lucky word today is consciousness. Consciousness. Consciousness is awareness of your existence. Like think the movie Limitless, think the movie Lucy, like really reaching the full capacity of your brain. But like I don't think that will actually take like those pills that they show. Yes, this is based on that note I wrote earlier this week and I put on social media. So if you saw it, good. If you didn't, side eye. Yeah, so I feel like consciousness is a need. Like if we are gonna get rid of all this political instability, all this colorism, racism, there is no academic argument that's there to actually be a solution. But I feel like all that we need to do is to tap into ourselves and actually be conscious. And I feel like consciousness is based on love, because if you are aware of yourself, like truly aware of yourself, you would realize that all that matters is love. And I just think of when I was younger and how crazy, like when I first became aware that I was a human being, just looking in the mirror, and I was like, I'm a human being. I'm a human being. To a point where I was afraid of mirrors. I literally ran away from mirrors, and I was afraid of being alone because I was realizing that I am alive and I am a human being, or I'm a human being now. I don't know what I was before. If I was here before, it's probable. It's very probable. But yeah, just going into that time when you were young and tapping into that realization that I am human, I am aware of my existence, that is insane and crazy, and that is worth tapping into, because we could realize love. And someone said this week that actually, human beings were not created to see ourselves, and that's why our eyes are here, and with our eyes we can't see ourselves except if you look in the mirror. But when you look out into the world, you see others and you don't see yourself. And I was like, oh my gosh, what, like a whole moment, realization on fleek. I was like, oh my gosh. And I feel like that's tapping into consciousness, and you look and you see others instead of yourself. And we need that if we're going to overcome all these crazy, ridiculous things that are going on in the world, guys. We need to tap into that power, and to see others instead of seeing ourselves. Yes, I think this was a very, very long episode of Political Cooking. I love you guys. And oh my gosh, can we just applaud a minute for Eminem? Wow, the BET freestyle. I am woke. That was amazing. My mom actually called me, and then she texted me, and she was like, oh my gosh, you will not believe what Eminem did. I was like, oh my gosh. When I saw the freestyle myself, I was like, oh my goodness. Eminem is her favorite rapper, so yeah, I just had to mention it. Yeah, so anyways, if there's any story or topic that you guys would actually like me to cover, please write it down in the comments or hit me up. Those of you who have my number. Yeah. I love you guys. Be awesome, be woke, be conscious, love a lot, spread the love. It all comes down to love. Use your talents to serve humanity. And thank you to everyone who keeps drawing my attention to things that are going on and what to cover. Lorraine, Pearl, thank you very much. Anyways, yes, I love you guys. You're awesome. Mwah! See you next week. See you next week.